Good morning, students. Now we will learn about the infrastructure of Indian economy in the eve of independence. Let's start. Infrastructure. What do you mean by infrastructure? If you consider the term infrastructure, we are thinking about the road, we are thinking about the transport system. Okay, all those things are fall into infrastructure. So now we are discussing about all those things. What was the condition of our road system, roads? What was the condition of our transport system? Okay, we will consider all those things. Under the colonial regime, basic infrastructure such as railways, ports, water transport, posts, and telegraphs did develop because the British peoples they also need it. However, the real motive behind this development was not to provide basic amenities to the people, but to subserve various colonial interests. Okay. So, what was the motive behind it? To serve the British people and to help their interest to collect the raw materials from India and to sell the finished good in India. That was the motive of the colonial period, the motive of the Britishers during the colonial period in India. First, we consider the roads. Then we will consider the railways. Then we will consider the air and water transport. After that, communication. These 4 points we will discuss in this chapter. Okay. So what was the condition of our road during colonial period? Now we will discuss about it. See the picture. During the colonial period, this is the railway bridge they built lots of, not only they also help Indian road system and they build lots of bridge, railways, okay, and tram. In Calcutta, we are seeing the tram, but this tram start from the colonial period. During that time, Calcutta, British ruled Calcutta during the British rule. This is the Howrah Bridge. We all know about it. This bridge built during the colonial period. Now, the roads. First point, roads. Now I am discussing about it. Roads constructed in India prior to the advent of the British rule were not fit for modern transport. The roads, that means during that period, our roads were not concrete. Okay, muds were there during the rainy season. The modern transport is not able to run through the mud roads. Okay, so for that reason, we need to improve our road, which can help to run the modern transports also. The roads that were built primarily served the purpose of mobilizing the army within India and drawing out raw materials from the countryside to the nearer railway stations or the port to send these to far away England or other lucrative foreign destinations. Okay, so they are making road for what? For military purpose and for their own interest, that means trade. Collect all the raw materials from the countryside or from the village, and they can send it to their own country, England, or any other lucrative foreign destination. There, there always remained an acute acute shortage of all weather road to reach out to the rural areas during the rainy season. Naturally, therefore, people mostly living in these areas suffered grievously during natural calamities and famines. Okay, during the rainy season, the village people, because of the in the village the roads are not constructed well, okay, during that time. So for that reason, during that time, village people were suffering in famines. Now railway, this is the great contribution in India by the during the colonial period. Okay, railway came in India because of the British government. Okay, you should keep this in your mind, and this railway, this point, learn this point very carefully. Sometimes some questions are come from this point, only they are asking about, write about the railway system during the colonial period. So this point, learn it very carefully, and in the exam, do not miss to write this point. You have to mention it. Okay, during the colonial period, this is the picture of India, and this is the first train which comes from Bombay to Thane. This is the picture of that. Railways. The British introduced the railways in India in 1850, and it is considered as one of their most important contributions. Okay, the railway affected the structure of the Indian economy in two important way. Okay, so read it very carefully. Railway consider two important way. Write about it. Your answer will be like this. On the one hand, it enable people to undertake long distance travel and thereby break geographical and cultural barrier. While on the other hand, it fostered commercialization of Indian agriculture. Commercialization of Indian agriculture also introduced by British, which adversely affected the self-sufficient of the village economies in India. Okay, the volume of India's export undoubtedly expanded, but its benefit rarely accrued to the Indian people. Indian people cannot enjoy its benefit. Its benefit, who enjoyed this benefit? British people. They are enjoyed the benefit of huge export from India. The social benefits which the Indian people gain owing to the introduction of the railways were thus outweighed by the country's huge economic loss. Okay, some social benefit we have seen because of the railway introduction of railway, but the huge economic loss is bigger than the social benefit. Okay, in this point they are talking about it. Along with the development of roads and railways, the colonial dispensation also took measures for developing the inland trade and sea lanes. However, these measures were far from satisfactory. Okay, they didn't do too much work in this sector. Whatever they need, only they did that part. During that period, whatever they needed, only they did that part. Air transport they need because to go England from India, and water transport of also because of that. But they didn't develop too much. They didn't think about India. They only think about their own country, which is England. The inland waterways at times also proved uneconomical, as in the case of Coast Canal on the Odisha coast. Though the canal was built at a huge cost to the government exchequer, yet it failed to compete with the railways. Okay, they have Spain because of the coastal area, Odisha coast they have taken. They invest a huge amount, but the railway, the income from railway, how railway help the, that much air and water transport do, couldn't during that time, which soon traversed the region running parallel to the canal and had to ultimately abandon. uh, in India, a beginning in air transport was made in 1920. When in India air transport started? From 1920. Communication. The introduction of expensive system of electric telegraph in India similarly served the purpose of maintaining law and order. To serve the law and order, they have introduced the telegraph system in India. The postal services start from 1837. On the other hand, despite serving a useful public purpose, remained although inadequate. All these things are inadequate. Here you can see during that time the air transport system and water transport system picture. Now complete the worksheet. What objectives did the British intend to achieve through their policies of infrastructure development in India? Or briefly discuss the various reasons for development of infrastructure by the British government. Okay, both the question answer is the same. What were the positive signs in railways under the British rule? What was the motive of constructing railway by the British government? Why did the colonial government invest in a railway system? Four options are there. You have to write which is the correct. To help break geographical barriers, to ease transportation of raw materials, mobilization of army. Number D, both B and C. Both B and C will be the correct answer. Okay. Bye students.